Thanks.
Okay, no problem.
Hi, and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast for this Authors Tuesday on Christmas week. So I wish you all a great Christmas. So I'm delighted to be joined by another author today, Denise Popat. Popat. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. So you're very, very welcome along today, Denise.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, so before we start, you might just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and the books you're working on, and a book you published there you were telling me about.
Okay, yeah. I'm a retired nursery, infant and special needs teacher. I've been retired now about 2 years, and I thought I've told a lot of stories in my time over the years, and I thought it was time to perhaps put pen to paper, especially during lockdown, as it helped keep the boredom away. So I decided to work along topics that are used in nursery and infant schools, and my aim was to aid delivery of the topics for the class teacher. So I thought if I combine fact with fiction, it may help the teacher deliver the topic, but also the children to engage with the story and learn a few fun facts along the way.
That sounds great. That sounds really, really good. And what's the name of the book, Denise?
The book that I've released is called Magnificent Marvelous Mini Beasts, and it's all about mini beasts at the bottom of your garden. And basically, it's just to encourage children in the conservation of mini beasts and to identify mini beasts and to enjoy looking at them and finding out more about them.
That's great. That's great. Because so what age group of children is it aimed towards, Denise? What kind of age group?
The book really is aimed at 3 to 8 years, 3 to 5 parental reading and 6 to 8 self-readers. Great
stuff, because that's brilliant for children, young children, to get interested in conservation, as you said, like, because I've got a 4-year-old and he loves all about flowers and the planting in the garden and all that kind of stuff. So that's brilliant. So thanks a lot for sharing that. That's great.
Yeah, particularly for a lot of kids now, because a lot of them do go to forest school sessions, or they have forest school sessions within schools. And so my idea was to help the forest school leader have a fun story. If the children have had a mini beast hunt in their session, they could perhaps have a story about some of the mini beasts that they have found and enjoy the story and learn a few fun facts alongside it.
That's great. That sounds brilliant, Denise. Fair play to you. That's brilliant, and I hope it does really well for you. So can I just ask you, where did a writing start for you? Have you always been a writer yourself, Denise? Have you always
No, it wasn't. It was a coincidence, really. I was discussing with a friend about children's books, as we have grandchildren, both of us. And she said to me, it can't be that hard to write a children's book. There's some rubbish out there for children. So I thought about it and I thought, well, I've taught enough stories and read stories over the years. Maybe it's time I had a go at writing myself. So I did. And I sent to 3 publishers just randomly off the internet, and every one of them came back to me.
Oh wow, that's great, isn't it? That's great. Yeah.
But Mark, as we said, the marketing is the hardest part.
It is tough. Yeah. Because
parents to actually realize that their children could perhaps benefit, or there's something beneficial from the stories. It's getting that out there and getting into the schools, getting to the libraries and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main point, especially for children's books. It's very, very important to be able to interact with the kids and tell them about your book. So that's brilliant. Yeah. So hopefully things get better and we can start doing that again. So yeah, the best of luck.
I have been able to get out into a few schools recently. But now, because of the new variant, things are closing down again, and obviously Christmas. But hopefully, the new year, I should be able to get out and read some stories again with a bit of blurb.
Fingers crossed, please God, yeah. And where can people buy your books, Denise? Where can people purchase them?
It's on Amazon. It's in Waterstones, WH Smith's, Barnes and Noble. But if you actually Google Magnificent Marvelous Mini Beast, it comes up with a variety of places where the book can be purchased online. And I do think there's possibly a few bookshops that may stock it, or they can certainly get hold of it.
That's great. So what I'd like you to do is, what I always do is get people to share their links so I can put them on the show notes for people to find them as well. So
Yeah.
if you want to do that after the show, and I can put them on the show notes.
I'll do that, definitely, Mark. Yeah, no problems.
That's brilliant, brilliant. Yeah. So can I just ask you as well? Just say, have you ever how do you deal with if, just say, you kind of stumble or you kind of get writer's block? Does that ever happen to you, and how can you kind of motivate yourself to keep going your writing if that ever happens, Denise?
Do you know what, Mark? Over lockdown, I've written so much that will probably never ever get published. What I did was I went through all the topics in nursery and infants that were applicable to perhaps write stories about and do research, so I could combine fact and fiction together. I've written probably about 15 series of stories, but they'll never all get published. But having said that, I think if I hadn't got a focus, I probably would have had writer's block.
Yeah, that's very important.
Because I had a focus, and because I thought, let me write some stories about mini beasts, which is the topic in school, Arctic animals, under the sea, emotions, all sorts of things like that. If I wrote about those things which are relevant in the classroom, then it would be perhaps useful for a class teacher. But it's just getting it out there and getting schools and parents to realise that there is material out there that may help in certain situations.
Exactly. Yeah. So as you say, hopefully next year you'll be able to do that more. But it's great for people listening to this podcast as well. Make sure you check out what I'm going to share on the show notes for Denise. So that's great. And I suppose I ask you as well, what kind of books what's your favorite genre of books to read yourself? What type of books are you interested in?
Real escapism, Mark.
Okay.
I like a little bit of drama and romance and a glass of wine.
Lovely. Great stuff, yeah. And is there any,
especially if I'm down by the sea in a hot climate? Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, sounds good. And what authors have kind of inspired you in your writing? Can you is there anybody you can think of?
Many, really. But I do like Jeffrey Archer. I like MMK. And obviously children's books. I love Julia Donaldson. I'm not so sure about David Williams.
Okay. yeah.
But I think the kids love him because of the humour. But yeah, I mean, lots of things out there do inspire you over the years, and obviously, when you're young yourself, some of the books always stay with you. I mean, I remember reading as a youngster Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, and I remember couldn't put the book down. So yeah, things like that do stay with you over the years.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, because you always remember books that that inspire you. So that's great, Denise. Thanks very much.
I have to be honest, I was never a lover of Shakespeare.
No, no. And have you ever thought of yourself, Denise, putting your books into audio form? Have you ever looked at doing like that? Because audiobooks seem to be very popular at the moment.
I haven't, because obviously it is an expensive commodity to do. And to be honest, I don't know whether at this stage it is. I mean, maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't. But I think you need to perhaps be established a little bit before you can perhaps think about those things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's great advice for anybody that's starting out. So, because
I mean,
we
I'm just
like
learning, Mark, now
exactly
about how
that.
to form.
That's why I like it, these podcasts, because I'm a first time writer myself. So it's great to get ideas of people to have on. So that's brilliant. Thanks very much for that.
And what sort of books do you write, Mark?
Children's books as well.
You write children's books as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, so like that's so kind of through COVID as well. Denise, has that did you struggle at all with your writing, or was that kind of, did that kind of spur you on to get your book done?
Yeah, I suppose it did really. Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, really, when I first started it, I didn't really think about it seriously. I thought, oh, it probably is a waste of time anyway.
mm.
Me just trying to write a book, nobody will be interested. And I think probably we all feel a bit like that. Oh, nobody interested in what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the best thing to do there is just do it, and because nobody can write like you. Anybody that's listening, it's all you're your own unique. It's your own unique experience that writes the book. So well done for doing it, because a lot of people can procrastinate and stop themselves. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you, Mark, and the same to you. How many
Yeah, yeah.
children's books have you written?
Well, one published, and I'm working on the sequel. So I'm gonna share it with you guys in the podcast as well pretty soon when it's
Yeah, can you
um
send me your link as well?
I will do. I will do. Thanks, Denise.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Because I've
Yeah.
got grandchildren. What age are yours suitable for?
Well, they're suitable for something similar to your age group, like from 4 upwards.
Okay,
four, like all the kids can read it themselves and get a laugh out of it, and the younger kids,
brilliant.
it's
Because
for
my
bedtime
granddaughter,
stories. Is great.
my eldest granddaughter is 5. So
Mm.
I will definitely bear that in mind. So please send me your link.
I will do. Yeah, I will do. And what about movies? Do you have any favorite movies yourself that you watch?
Oh gosh, I'm a real 80s girl. Dirty
Mm.
Dancing,
Yeah.
Officer and a Gentleman,
Okay. Yeah. Great.
all sorts of things like that.
Mm. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, yeah.
They're
80s
the
were great.
best movies of all time. Top Gun.
Yeah, 80s were great for movies. All right, I agree with you there, and the soundtracks were great as well for some of them movies.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and do you ever listen to music, Denise, when you're writing? Do you ever listen to any background music, like, or do you find that you've done that?
I don't, in all honesty, I probably sit and write in silence.
Hmm.
If I'm doing corrections or trying to proofread, then I will have background music or television. But if I'm
Yeah,
actually writing, no, because I think because I'm concentrating.
yeah. I understand. Because some people that I've had on listen to music without lyrics, which can, like, there's Lyric FM over here that people listen to, like classical music. It's kind of can help them a bit. Like, I've only started doing that myself, so it's something that anybody that's listening can try as well. And yourself, Denise, it's
Right,
different. I've only
yeah. Oh,
started
I'll
recently. Yeah,
definitely have a go at that. Yeah, no
yeah,
question
yeah,
of it.
yeah. It's good. I suppose
Definitely.
everyone to themselves, but it's good. Yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is great. Thanks a million for coming on, Denise. So I might just ask you one
Thank
more
you for having
question
me,
before you
Mark.
go. Yeah, I might just ask you one more question before you go, because as it's a motivational podcast as well, could you give anybody a tip on how to keep themselves motivated in their writing, please?
A difficult one because I suppose that's quite a difficult one because we're all sort of motivated individually. But I suppose for me, it was a case of thinking if I can just help a class teacher impart some knowledge to the children and make it fun for them in a fun story, then hopefully it will aid the delivery of the topic.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Great. Yeah, that's really good idea. Like, and it's motivating the teacher. Good way to be able to motivate the class when they're reading your book. So that's brilliant. That's really good.
I mean, a busy class teacher, when you're required to do a topic, there's so many books out there. You can spend quite some time looking through those books to find some appropriate stories to use alongside imparting facts for the topic. So my idea was, if I can impart some of those facts in a fun story, that will help.
Yeah, great stuff. Great idea. Great
But
plan.
it's just getting it to take off, Mark, basically.
Yeah. Because you just reminded me of a book that I've been reading there over the last while. It's called Teaching Excellence. It's really good for any kind of teacher to help them learn different techniques and strategies for children to learn of all ages. So that's one I recommend to get, Denise, and for anybody that's listening. It's really good.
Well, we can only try, can't we?
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I mean, having taught for many years, I can stand back now and reflect.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, I really appreciate you coming on, and I wish you all the best and success with your books going forward.
Thank you, Mark, as well.
Yeah, and make sure you send me on the link so I can share them on the show notes as well.
Yeah, and don't forget to send me yours.
I will do. So thanks a million again, Denise. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. And thanks everybody for listening. This is the last episode of 2021.
I'll let you know when my next one comes out.
I will, and have a lovely Christmas, Denise, as well, to you and all your family.
Thank you, and a very happy New Year. And let's hope it's a happy New Year for all of us. It's got to be better than the last 2 years.
Has to be, definitely. Okay, we love. Okay, so take care, and thanks everyone for listening. Talk to you real soon.
It's a pleasure. Take care, Mark. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.